Gaffer, hard-fought point on the road. What was your assessment of that one tonight?
Exactly what you said, hard-fought point on the road. I thought from our point of view we've had to grow into that match. We've had to bounce back from obviously a setback. We didn't start particularly well, and you know it's going to be hard away from home obviously, but we just didn't quite find our rhythm in that first half, and although they weren't really creating any chances, we just weren't as fluid and good with the ball as we normally are. We conceded a really scrappy set piece goal which sort of puts you right on the back foot, but I was confident we would grow into the game as the game wore on, second half, and I think we found our rhythm at one point in the second half, and we played some really good stuff, got into some good areas, felt the goal was coming, great to get it obviously, and then again it was conceding a few counter-attacks in the second half, which is not normal for us. We have a lot of the ball normally, but we don't give away too many transition breaks, and they were breaking away with the speed that they have, so we had to deal with a couple of those moments, but I felt it was us on the ball trying to take the game to them and push for that winning goal, but obviously we had a couple of moments we couldn't quite find it, but it's a good point for us, no doubt.
After the form we've been in, it was a uncharacteristic sort of slow start from us. What do you put that down to? Is it just something that just happens sometimes, particularly when you're away from home? Yeah,
I think it does. It can happen. It's always a challenge playing away from home. There's another team trying to stop you, trying to make it uncomfortable for you, and you have to deal with that. I thought we were a little bit loose with some of our passing decision making. We just were playing a little bit too slowly, and that's not us when we're at our best. When we're at our best, it's nice and fast, and we're playing forward, and usually really, really crisp with our passing. So, yeah, we just didn't quite have that. We weren't getting enough crosses in the box, enough forward throw-ins, creating danger, putting pressure on them. And we did a bit more of that in the second half, and you could see it was a bit of a game of two halves for us, because second half it felt like it was mostly all in their half, and us on the ascendancy. So I'm pleased with the response, because it's not easy to do when you don't start well. As I've said to the players, it gives you work to do to get back into the game, but we managed to do that.
Despite going a goal down, we tried to probe in that first half, but we just didn't have that final ball or that end product to create a sort of clear-cut chance on goal.
No, we didn't. We were creating a few 1v1s. Again, we were probably turning down little crossing situations and passes that we have been doing more recently, which I showed the players at half-time, but we were getting to the ball into reasonable areas, into the final third or into their half fairly comfortably, without then putting enough pressure on their back line, and I think that was why we couldn't create meaningful chances in that period, to be honest. But that can happen. As I say, it's a difficult game. What I'm pleased with is the response that we had and the way we played the second half.
What was the message at half-time to the players? Was it a case of moving that ball a little bit quicker, trying to get the ball wide, get our key players into the game?
Yeah, I think it was. We have to be better first and foremost. We're better than that, basically, and the game is there for us. If we play quickly, we do what we're good at, basically, which is getting the ball wide, getting crosses in the box, playing at a good tempo, being brave on the ball, making lots of forward runs. If we do that, then we can get back into this game and possibly go on and win it. And we did find a rhythm into that second half, and so I'm really pleased that they've managed to do that. And like I say, scored a good goal from a set piece with Jay, flash one across goal. We've had a shot from Jay and Samoki and Kyogo. So we nearly got that second goal.
A word for Marvin, 3 goals in 2 games. It looked like you might have been looking to make a change before that, but was it a case of keeping him on because of the threat that he does have?
Well, yeah, I was looking to make a change, but what was happening was there was a series of set pieces. I think they were also looking to make a change, but I think we both refrained from doing so, because on a set piece you don't really want to make a change, especially if someone like Marvin, who's quite big, for and against you, you got that presence in the box. So I waited and waited. And obviously he scores from a set piece, so I'm pleased that I did that now, and his contribution's been really good. We weren't vintage in the final third tonight with our combinations, but to pop up with the goal, an important goal, was obviously massive for us.
A word on Tommy Doyle. We didn't quite get on the ball as much in the first half, but really instrumental in that second half. Was that a case of trying to get him on the ball because of the form he's been in? And obviously he's got the assist for Marvin with a brilliant delivery from that left-hand side. Yeah,
and I think Tommy's probably indicative of the whole game, in the sense that he didn't really show his normal self in that first half, but nor did the team. But then when he got going, everyone got going. Paik as well picked up in the second half in midfield, so Jay had more of the ball, so they all did, and we can't be surprised by difficult away games. That's that's going to happen. So we have to stay in the game if we are not our best, and try and get something out of it. And that's what we did tonight. And that's why I say that it's a good point.
Both sides had chances to win it as well late on, but is it a case of sometimes when you can't win it, don't lose it and take a point, because points in the Championship, especially on your travels, are hard to come by?
No, definitely. I think, like I say, the chances they were having were predominantly just breaking away from us, and they've obviously got a lot of speed, and when you maybe don't win a duel or they get to the ball first and then they can start running with it, they can get up the pitch. They've got some really quick players. So I thought how we handled some of those counters and our decision making. I can remember one instance with Chris Clara where he had to decide to engage the ball or stay back. He made a great choice. So we don't normally suffer as many counter attacks as that in that way, and they had 2 or 3, but thankfully we defended them in the end.
Just finally, great to see Paik back after just 18 days out injured. A word on his performance, and also a word for the medical staff who have played a key part in his recovery.
Yeah, I mean, we've got an outstanding medical department here. He gets a lot of support. They've done a lot of work with him. I think it says everything about the player though, because there's many players that would take months to come back from that injury. Paik's taken 18 days, and that's all to do with his character. He's done everything to try to be ready to go through all the things that he needs to do, and ultimately he's put his body on the line for this football club, and he said, I want to play, I'm ready to go. And I think that speaks volumes for him in a physical game tonight. I thought that shoulder coped well, and hopefully the long may continue.
Thanks, Gaffer.